Hello, good evening and welcome along to Uganda's home of business news, and we as well live across the East African community. I'm Joram Ssonko with Winnie Nakauchi on for sign language interpretation. Many thanks for joining us. And now let's dive right into it. As we kick it off, following the gross financial leakage that has amounted to unchecked losses, Parliament has resolved to the Institute of Parliamentary Network on Illicit Financial Flows and Taxation. The platform has been launched to enforce tax, justice and address illegal financial transactions. Samla Hanifa reports.
Government stopping the issue of selling our minerals to the highest bidder forward to mining affected communities having a say in the minerals that are in their communities forward. Amandla. Long live
Uganda loses about 2 trillion shillings every year to money laundering, tax evasion, among other illegal financial transactions, with the figure likely to be higher given global disparities. In his remarks, Honorable Oguzuli, chairperson of the African Parliamentary Network on Illicit Financial Flows and Taxation, a finance and tax justice dedicated platform, says the country's growth has severely been affected by financial leakages.
The reason has been we are constrained financially. The resources we're able to mobilize locally cannot allow us to rise to the occasion to deliver services which can improve the lives of our people. And one reason we have not been able to mobilize adequate domestic resources is because there are a lot of leaks in our systems. And that's why we are talking about illicit financial flows. There's a lot of money which is illegally moving out of our systems that could be used for building schools, for building hospitals, to remunerate our teachers and other civil servants very, very well. And we are here to galvanize support and build a critical mass of people who can stand against illicit financial flows and allow this country to mobilize adequate resources for our own transformation.
Dr. Kanyishili Tsabalala, the chairperson of the African Parliamentary Network on Illicit Financial Flows, has called on Ugandan legislators to support the initiative regarding one tax law for Africa. According to Kanyishili, Africa's position to deal away with financial leakage, with over $80 billion lost every year, broader efforts have to be initiated.
There's an organization called ATAF, African Tax Administration Forum, and Tax Justice Network Africa. They have been lobbying and fighting for this because the divide and rule in Africa is really the devil. It's our weakness. That's how we were enslaved. That's how we were colonized. Unless we have one tax law, illicit financial flows will continue to be a problem, because what they can't get from Uganda, they will get from Kenya. What they can't get from Kenya, they'll get from South Africa. I mean, we produce gold, Ghana produces gold. If we tighten our laws, they'll go to Ghana. If they tighten their laws, they'll come to us. So until we have one tax law, like they do, in Europe, systems are synchronized. So why can't we synchronize ours? And we start with tax and IFFs because we are so tired. We want economic freedom. Truly, I'm so tired of even these descriptions. Africa is a basket case. This is the 4th generation since Ghana 1957. So your children and your children's children will still be continuing to fight. When are we going to stop fighting and say we have achieved, we are reaping the fruits?
The mineral industry is one of the corruption-plagued areas and sources of leakage. According to Oguzuli, Africa's continued depletion of such minerals, tax avoidance and other tax-related inefficiencies imply need for capacity building to fix such gaps.
We have been struggling to end poverty, and that has largely been because of the leaks in our tax systems. And because of this platform we have created in this house, we will now team up with the rest of the colleagues across Africa. That way we can share information, we can exchange knowledge, we can build capacity of each other. I want to thank our partners, the TGNA, Siatini, and other civil society organizations that have been able to support the process of this launch. Through such establishments, MPs are able to address the most pertinent issues that have undermined government's effort to deliver services. Right now, we cannot be able to hold LC1 elections because the country does not have resources. We are just emerging from COVID. We are confronted by disaster in many parts of the country. There is famine in parts of the country.
Siatini being at the forefront of research and trade information, the Institute believes there is need to diversify measures meant to address financial leakage owing to the country's growing mineral industry.
We need to plug the leaking bucket. We are losing so much in terms of our minerals. We're not benefiting from our minerals. A lot of wealth is earned here and it's extracted. And I could say so much, but because of the interest of time, allow me to stop here, but to say we should work together, but also devise strategies that are holistic, because it's not a one-size-fits-all to address illicit financial flows.
Africa is expected to enforce tax efficiency, with 22 countries primed for debt distress. Unless the porous tax systems are reviewed, over $600 billion is lost worldwide through massive tax leakage.
OECD itself found that because of tax avoidance, which is one of the commercial ways of IFFs, it's one of the commercially driven activities of IFFs, countries are losing between 500 to 650 billion US dollars on a worldwide basis annually. So this means that this isn't a problem that is affecting African countries or developing countries alone. It's affecting all of us. And then I want to emphasize that illicit financial flows, and especially commercially driven illicit financial flows, are not illegal per se. They're doing all of this legally because our tax systems are like this. We have a lot of loopholes within our tax systems which allow for them to carry out tax avoidance on such a serious basis and on such a huge basis, to the extent that we're losing 500 to 600 billion US dollars, all of us, including very developed countries.
Samlanifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Right now, we talk matters mineral beneficiation, as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development has set focus on the Chigezi sub-region, host to numerous iron ore depots, yet the industry is still undeveloped and constantly drawn into mineral conflict. Following inspection of a number of iron ore deposits, government has emphasized value addition in the mineral industry to support industrial growth and employment. We have details.
Geographical data estimates that over 200 million metric tons of iron ore in Chigezi sub-region, while national depots could amount to about 1 billion metric tons. To address the constant mineral conflict in Chigezi, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Ruth Nankabirwa, led a government delegation to Kabale. Following inspection of
First, then you cannot talk about establishing plants here, because any foreign investor that comes and finds people wrangling around cannot establish the plant.
With the local content bill set to offer an act, the state minister for
to support industrialization in the country, and we can't have industrialization if, especially in the area of mineral beneficiation, if the mining is not in peace, in harmony, and it's not there are these wrangles. So this activity is aiming at ensuring that we prepare the raw materials to have the industries running.
A recent standoff had come onto investment, face-to-face with the Artisanal Miners Association over Nankabirwa put mining companies.
Locals, in as far as local content is concerned, so that they can get money by working within the mines. So our monitor, the geologists who are inspecting, have to take care of this, to see to it that local content is observed, that the communities are feeling part and parcel of the development in their vicinities.
Land fragmentation has been a divide factor and that's still
Fadeka. And the current law is the fact that if there is any mineral in the land, the mineral belongs to government. So whoever would want to extract the mineral gets permission from the government. But the landowners have their rights also protected in the Constitution and the laws. So the investor must first acquire rights from the landowner and subsequently get a permit from government. So land tends to be expensive here because of the very nature of the shortage of land vis-a-vis the population. But it's always good that people negotiate and come to an agreement and buy.
Those stranded mines are affected by the factors that I've explained so far. A miner was given a license without the requirement on value addition. But because we want to maximize benefits from the resources that we have as a country, we amended the law and we said no exportation of unprocessed minerals. And this committee is going to find out to what extent do we process? Do we process tin to 100%? Is that possible? Or is there a percentage? This our scientists can tell us. So because of that, all of a sudden the miners got stranded.
Government currently has faith in the local content bill bound to be act.
All right, now away from that, we talk matters East African Community Corporate Governance. The League of East African Directors lead, whose major lies in providing corporate governance support, has welcomed partnership with numerous private sector companies across finance, manufacturing, heading into the business resilience oversight. Besides governance, technology and sustainable development are among the notable concerns for the much anticipated convention. Bronia Katusime reports.
East Africa's top governance service provider lead has welcomed on board a number of private sector entities in finance and manufacturing, for example, as focus tends towards the Business Resilience Convention slated for 27th next week. Away from effective governance, technology and the growing digital transformation plus environmental protection are among prominent concerns that have been taken into account for sustainable development.
The key theme that was chosen is around governance, business resilience in this ever-changing environment. And the whole purpose is to ensure that we equip directors, both prospective and current directors of organizations, to ensure that they carry out their duties well in the right way. In terms of the organization of the convention, I've been working with a large team to ensure that everything goes well. But in terms of a snippet of what our program looks like, we're going to have a keynote address on the theme. We're going to have 4 key discussion topics. One is around risk management. The other is around technology, the role of technology in governance. We are also going to talk about environmental social governance matters.
When you have to change your board members, your board composition, the composition of your audit committee, what impact does that have on organizations? But we're also looking at post-COVID, the disruptions of technology. We're going to look at the fintechs and the challenges they've been having in governance. We've seen all over the world, there's serious governance challenges. I think we saw what's happening in Kosase.
Fintech is our future, so we feel this is a very, very important topic, which we know that everybody needs to be ahead of. It keeps changing on a day-to-day basis, but this will give us a very good foundation as to what we should be doing in the organizations that we're operating in to ensure that we're creating sustainable organizations into the future.
So this convention for LEAD, which is happening next week, is giving us an opportunity as business leaders in our respective industries to network and demonstrate our commitment to effective governance, responsible business practices, and unwavering resilience. Together, we can enhance the opportunities presented by the ever-changing regulatory landscape and build a brighter and more sustainable future for our organizations, our stakeholders, and society as a whole.
Private sector strongholds such as NCBA Bank, Uganda Breweries, and Equity Bank have committed themselves to the cause, availing a cumulative 37.5 million to set pace for the combo to address resilience and sustainable business across East Africa.
This convention will bring a lot of experience in sharing how different boards have become resilient and sustained businesses in the challenging environments. For any of you who is aspiring to be on a board like myself, it is a great opportunity to learn, network, and I'd like to advise you, especially women, not to miss it. With these remarks, please accept our contribution of 5 million Uganda shillings. Uganda Breweries has come in with some support, about 16 million Uganda shillings worth of support.
For participation, $50 have been tagged to member entities and $80 for non-members for grant beyond access to invaluable insight, networking opportunities to support initiatives that will make a lasting impact on the business landscape.
A seat for a non-member is $80 and for a member it is $50.
Addressing business sustainability gaps in East Africa has now been opened to include technology integration, environmental protection, among other development factors for economic growth. Bronia Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Elsewhere, COSAS's UNBS inquest has taken an unexpected twist as the executive director, David Livingstone Ebiru, is torn between facts and lies over confession to having paid actions. Pedison Mumbere reports.
COSAS has for the past session been grilling Uganda Bureau of Standards over losses amounting to 19.2 billion Uganda shillings, as well as questionable contracts to pre-import certification companies, Intertech, Bureau Veritas, among others. In effect, UNBS Executive Director confirming 100 million bribe to the board for a job retainer. The confession has today been rendered questionable by the ED, saying such was made out of anger and animosity between him and the board.
The ED said you had wanted to say something as we wrap up. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. Again, out of context, so the issue of offering my chairman 100 million for protection, as reported, I want to withdraw it formally because I know that it was recorded, but I want to confirm that it was out of the environment we're operating, high tempers, high animosity, so it was really not intended to harm anybody. So that's the statement I wish to make, Chairman. But we are now good friends. And after a year, we are going to share a cup of coffee.
Chair, this is interesting.
Chair,
just a second.
Chair, before you come in.
Just a second. I find this interesting. Of course, people have a right to say whatever it is that they would like to say. What's important is we have a statement on record. There is evidence of messages, WhatsApp messages, and so on. There's an investigation going on by police. Now the IGG, I'm hoping this is not to say, let me retract because police is now investigating, IGG is investigating, and that kind of thing.
In response to the latest confession, the committee chairperson Joel Senyonyi confirmed that investigations by the IGG will pursue as the authority executive director maintains having handed out cash to a board member to leverage his job following recommendations to be terminated by the IGG.
Let police do its investigation. Let IGG do her investigation. The committee is carrying out its investigation and we shall have a report on all of these different things, yeah? So I don't want to say to you that now, by you withdrawing a statement, it has erased everything that happened and all that was said and all that was tabled. Yeah, but there you are.
We realized that one of the statements I made during the early days of our exchange was really over-publicized when we were both attacking, both sides attacking. So I wanted to take this opportunity to inform you, Chair and members, that that exchange has ended in reconciliation or harmony.
We keep saying UNBS is a critical institution. Our concern is not just the financial losses, the misappropriations, the bribery allegations, and so on. A bigger concern is that you people are in charge of quality control of the commodities which we consume. We don't have, as ordinary consumers, we don't have capacity in buying. You know, is it certified? Is it we cannot test. It is you people meant to do that. So when you don't seem to be orderly, when there's all this chaos, we are thinking, what standards are you keeping?
The unfolding events are simply confirming big cracks pertaining competency, integrity and transparency within the standards body despite the country's dire position on market standards. Benson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Now off to regional power trade. The East African Power Pool member states are now hopeful to achieve efficient regional electricity trade following renewed financing commitment. Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda and the Horn of Africa and other states are now in sync as previous setbacks to achieve a regional power market in 2024 largely lean towards funding. Remember, Africa's power consumption remains below average, with Uganda facing particularly low figures at 215 megawatts. Kilowatts per hour. Rana Nahabwe reports.
Recognizing the potential benefits of a regional power pool, energy ministers from 11 Eastern African countries, founder EAC members plus new entries, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Egypt and other East African power pool members ratified the Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding on February 24, 2005 to establish the East African Power Pool. In today's high-level meeting, the ministers approved various proposals from the steering committee with special emphasis on initial development of the East African Power Pool headquarters in Kampala, Uganda.
As we establish ourselves, we are working with very limited resources, and therefore we have to work through the experts that we have in the national regulatory institutions to support the secretariat in each initial step, and therefore secondment of officers in the areas of technical regulation, legal regulation, accounting, communication, and the detailed ICT chair was resolved.
With Uganda generating 1,678 megawatts but only consuming 850, limited transmission lines, land compensation processes and vandalism highlight the energy market. The Minister of Energy highlights the necessity of electricity trading despite a few homes being connected to the power grid.
Bilateral arrangements where countries are trading already. Uganda is already trading with her neighbors. We are taking power to Rwanda, 40 megawatts. We are taking about 60 megawatts to Kenya and South Sudan. We have just finished the PSA, the power sales agreement between South Sudan Energy Company and Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, whereby we shall be trading electricity. And I would like to make a clarification to those who have been wondering why we should take out power yet we still have villages in Uganda which are still in darkness. And my answer to that is that power generation costs money. Any power that you have generated and you are not utilizing it will be like deemed energy. You have to pay for it. So instead of waiting for the money and then we establish the distribution network to all our villages, we decided to sell power to get money to invest in the distribution network.
This is all about selling excess power to the people who don't have it so that it becomes cheaper and it becomes more efficient. So it is very important to have interconnection between all these countries that form the East African Power Pool. The minister just told you of a line from Tanzania up to Libya. Currently, if I tell you the lines that are being developed, the one from Mutukula to Tanzania is under feasibility study by the World Bank. We have one from Oluyo to Juba that is being, the feasibility is being done by NELSAP, funded by African Development Bank. The interconnection from Tororo to Kenya is being upgraded.
Achieve the 2024 agreement for establishing the stock exchange market, where regional electricity infrastructure, an efficient cross-border power market, compliance with grid codes, and synchronized regional operations are vital. The Energy Ministry and UETCL have empowered the board to regulate the East African Power Pool, given the significant business implications involved.
If you want to sell power to Kenya, you have a power purchase or power sale agreement between yourselves. But that notwithstanding, we want to go a step further. and pool power, like the way you would say it's a stock exchange, but for power. So the excess power will be put to this market. It will be in such a way that people sign agreements to be able to trade on the East African power pool. So there will be a market operator who is within the East African power pool structure. The way that structure is that it has the Council of Ministers at the top.
We will be commissioning a line that will connect to Libya. Already that is going through so many countries. So the network is there. But how is the trading going to be regulated? Okay? It is the how which we are handling now. Before you go live, are you sure? Do you have consensus? Because this is a market, this is a business. So it is the how that we are concluding, and the regulator comes in.
Ronana Habwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Away from that, health maintenance organizations have embarked on market widening following partnership between key players, AAR and the Insurance Brokers Association. With just 5.4 of the 45 million Ugandans having procured insurance last year, the small HMO segment has to figure out a means to market penetration amid competition and innovation. We have details.
Recent insurance data highlighted crack in networked private medical insurance, as IML, a health maintenance organization. They are known for health care coverage and medical services to enrolled members, exited the insurance market. Part of the reasons were transfer of policies, services and competition. To inhibit such forthcomings, AAR, one of the HMOs, has partnered with the Insurance Brokers Association to siphon bigger market access.
We do know that we need to give health a priority in our lives, a priority because all of us, whether it's our family members or friends, we've had people who've been sick, we've had people we've lost. And sometimes it has been because they did not have the right cover, they did not have access to the right medication.
The Insurance Brokers Association reaches quite a number of people. It also has a wide platform, and we believe that Ugandans need insurance. But AR as a business, we are not in a position to reach each and every Ugandan that needs medical insurance.
With just 5.4% of the 45 million Ugandans having taken an insurance last year, HMOs, known for networked medical coverage, currently have to address market dynamics such as capital requirement and throat-cutting insurance competition powered by innovation.
Are already health centers, health providers. They already have their hospitals and clinics, but they have some kind of scheme that helps people who come to mostly their centers access medical insurance at a more kind of predictable manner, because you want to set up a fund with this medical facility, so that should anything happen to me and my family members, there will be a fund that they can access service, medical services at any one time.
The difference between HMO and insurance premium comes down to price. So they're able to advise you on the advantages and disadvantages of each, whether it is health insurance or through medical insurance companies or through HMOs.
As innovation, new products and efforts to market penetration grow, the insurance sector still has to address challenges such as fraud. Players such as AAR are now privy of this and caution prudent purchase of policies at respective outlets to eliminate market malpractice. Industry experts, however, emphasize a clear link between health insurance and health maintenance organizations, HMOs, despite variations in market approach. Naomi Mtumba, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Friday off we go. Joram, Ssonko, Winnie Nakauchi on for sign language interpretation. Many thanks for being part of the Bulletin tonight and for the entire week. Well, a quick reminder though, you can as well watch the business edition on Sunday with Pedison Mumbere as he gives you a full recap of the top stories from our bulletin this entire week. That is on Sunday at 8 p.m. East African Standard Time. But as well, as you're moving, you can download the Smart Digital app if at all you want to watch Smart 24 TV anywhere, anytime. From the entire newsroom, production, and the editorial at Plot 42, Nile Avenue, we wish you all the best for the evening, a wonderful weekend ahead, and a good night.